They certainly can't be anything wrong with a little bit of Aretha Franklin in the morning time, Grenada. A track entitled Ever Changing Times. Yeah, good morning to you. It's the 5th day of the month of January. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a wonderful, it's a terrific Tuesday morning. And I want to say thank you for having made that decisive decision to wake up with Classic in the morning time. I'm Joseph Cadore, and you call me JC. And so we're giving God thanks and praise that we are alive and well, and we are in the land of the living, still trying to find our destiny, still trying to find our purpose, trying to determine after all is said and done, why am I here? And if in fact today's the day that you able to come face to face with that realization, you would have done well. Yeah. So again, good morning to you. Those of you here at home across the region. This is Classic 105.5, Classic 105.9 of the FM band. Good morning to you. Those across the globe, across the region, in the diaspora. Those on Facebook, those on YouTube. Good morning. A wonderful good morning to you. The month of January is in forward march, and I certainly hope that you are in full pursuit of whatever glory that there is. Today is another day for greatness. Now, you don't have to believe me. You could probably still focus on whatever plans for mediocrity that still surrounds your life. But believe me, today it's a plan. There's a plan for greatness, a little bit of greatness that resides in all of us. So, what's the thought for today? I have a little word for you for today, which is, we become what we want to be by consistently being what we want to become each day. So make sure we understand it. We become what we want to be by consistently, on an ongoing basis, being what we want to become every day. I did say to you that today is your day for greatness. Today is your day when you reach the pinnacle of your life. You don't know. Each and every day, as you awake, you have to make that decisive decision. I am going to be what I want to be. Each and every one of us, we are in a different race. But certainly, when we wake up every morning, we give God thanks and praise that we are still here. JC is still here, living life and loving life. And in the midst of everything, we're keeping our eyes on the clock. It is 23 minutes onto the hour of 7. For those of you that's heading there for 7 o'clock, I would assume reasonably that you're on your way, depending on how far you are. Don't wait until it's 5 minutes to the hour to call the boss to say that you are running late. He's already figured that you're late. If 5 before the hour, you're not on the job. So that's what it is. So what's the word for the day? Today, every day, we try to take ourselves from one place to another. And today, the word is comely. The word for today is comely. Comely is an adjective. Comely. Comely. Now, by definition, it is a pleasurable conforming to notions of good appearance, suitable or proportion, having a pleasing appearance, not homely or plain. Now, did you know that although comely is not typically used to describe the appearance of human beings, it was once used more broadly of other appealing things such as fine clothing. Comely can be traced back to Old English words variously meaning glorious, lively, or fine. If you are looking to pretty up your prose or poetry with additional words meaning beautiful, well, English is well supplied with them. So aside from beautiful itself, you have lovely, handsome, pretty, fair, good-looking, gorgeous, ravishing, or even well-favored, or comely. Or comely. Yes? So, how do you use it in a sentence? No one looks particularly handsome or comely while wearing a mask. Yeah, that's why you don't recognize anybody these days. And I deliberately put it into that context for you. No one looks particularly handsome or comely while wearing a mask. I'm taking this one now from the text, The Burning Bush. These low shrubs wait until most of their bigger cousins, the oaks and the maple, give up their leaves before offering their own subtle but comely colors as a last hurrah of autumn. The word for today, the 5th day of the month of January. The word for today is comely. Yes. Now, as we go through the day, 20 minutes onto the hour, reminding you, and in the next few minutes, that's a quarter to the hour, it's going to be the morning edition. At that point in time, our wonderful friends on television, they are going to get a rebroadcast of some of the top stories from the nightly news. But before you run off, today being the 5th day of January, let's look back in history on a few things. Well, just one thing in particular. And did you know that today, on the 5th of January 1933, that construction on the Golden Gate Bridge began? As workers began excavating 3.2 million cubic feet of dirt from the structure's huge anchorage. Now, following the gold rush boom that began in 1849, speculators realized that the land north of San Francisco Bay would increase in value in direct proportion to its accessibility to the city. Soon, a plan was hatched to build a bridge that would span the Golden Gate, a narrow 400 feet deep strait that served as the mouth of the San Francisco Bay, connecting the San Francisco Peninsula with the southern end of Marin County. Yeah, so next time, of course, you travel, you go to San Francisco, you tell us, you remember, yeah, I know when work on this bridge started, you probably might be able to prove to them that your father, some family member of yours who was there for the gold rush, was actually a foreman on the project. Yeah, you can try that and see actually what happens. You may actually get away with it. So, today's word is comely. How do I look? Do I look comely? So here's what's happening, folks. We're going to take a quick break. Well, not a quick break. We're going to break away from you on television, that is, for the morning edition. And again, for those of you that's on television, you get a rebroadcast of some of the top stories from last evening's news. A wonderful good morning to you. Wake up, smell the coffee. I wonder what did you have in breakfast this morning. You haven't thought of it as yet, have you? Maybe I can allow me to suggest maybe, I don't know, a little bit of pancakes. Homemade pancakes? Yeah, homemade pancakes. Scratch it up, 1, 2, 3, and you were good to go. But we break for the morning edition. The folks on television, I see you on the other side of the clock.
Grenada's health ministry backpedaled on Sunday, and it's apparent that officials are still in reverse gear, or at least sitting in neutral. They had oiled the information machine and was already in drive, but at last minute, they called off the information trip. Scores of Grenadians had their eyes and ears glued to the GBN television and its various media platforms for information on what was reported on Sunday afternoon as the island's first COVID-19 death. A press release issued by the Government Information Service reported that a 72-year-old man who had been diagnosed with COVID-19 died on Sunday. The statement said that he had arrived in Grenada with his wife and 3-year-old grandchild on December 16. The press release advised that further information would be provided during a press briefing, which was scheduled for 5 on Sunday afternoon. However, 7 minutes after the scheduled start, the Government Information Service advised that it was no longer happening. It said that the Ministry of Health is still in the process of ascertaining all of the facts surrounding the island's first COVID-19 related death, which was announced earlier in the day. The GIS added that in the absence of all the necessary information, the previously scheduled press conference had therefore been cancelled. The government announced this afternoon that it has appointed a committee to examine all of the details surrounding the death of the 72-year-old. It says that a committee has been appointed to spearhead the investigation. It is being chaired by Dr. George Mitchell and includes Dr. Emma Harry Thompson, Dr. Beverly Nelson, Dr. Sean Charles, Dr. Taisha Donald, and Ms. Leslie Ann Sion, who is the deputy chair. The committee has been given 1 week to determine all of the facts and present a report to the cabinet. The Ministry of Health is said to be moving ahead with contact tracing efforts and has so far determined that 27 persons were potentially exposed to the latest case. It claims that all of these persons have already been tested, and the ministry is currently awaiting their results. As of January 3rd, 2021, the Ministry of Health has on record 6 active COVID-19 cases. A total of 129 cases have been recorded in Grenada thus far. Another statement which was forthcoming today related to the dusk to dawn curfew. It was announced that 1 week ago, a 1-week curfew has been reimposed beginning at 8 o'clock tonight and ending at 5 in the morning on January 11th. Restaurants have been allowed to resume dine-in services while observing physical distancing and related protocols. The government has also announced that the ban on all commercial flights between Grenada and the United Kingdom will remain in effect until January 11. Speculations were rife about the reason for the cancellation of Sunday's presser by the government. As the evening progressed, many pointed at the possibility that the government was backed into a corner by a statement made by someone who identified herself as a daughter of the deceased man. Trelawna Charles has excerpts of her statement.
A very irate daughter took to Facebook to share her side of the story after the death of her father, who unfortunately is now recorded as Grenada's first COVID-19 related death. In her post, the daughter said, "So Minister Steele and Ministry of Health Grenada, instead you admit my dad first went to Princess Alice Hospital on the 27th of December 2020 when he first started having symptoms after calling your COVID hotline many times with no answer. And mind you, that was a few days after your team called him, telling him he was cleared because his PCR test came back negative. Your doctor at Princess Alice first misdiagnosed him when he had all the COVID-19 symptoms, not even sounding him, telling him it was his sugar level that was high, gave him 2 IVs and some insulin and sent him home. As a doctor in this COVID time, didn't it even occur to her maybe it's corona or this sounds like corona? We're almost a year into this coronavirus. 2 days after, we had to call Dr. Johnson to do a home visit, who stated he had now developed pneumonia. What a shame." She then continued, "Don't play with me. My mother may not like to speak, but I'll be speaking on her behalf. And wherever y'all get this information that you released in this article, you better pull it down. My father had all the COVID symptoms with a positive rapid test the second time he went back to Princess Alice Hospital, plus the pneumonia, and instead you rushed him to St. George's knowing he was high risk and kept him up there waiting on PCR results to come back. You just keep failing the people. You couldn't even put a rush on a test. He still had to wait 48 hours for results to come back before you could have transferred him, upon which he died in less than 24 hours on arrival at the General Hospital." She then addressed the people and rumors that were circulating over the weekend, saying, "For those of you who think he did not die from COVID and the government is telling lies and trying to come with lies, my mom is now laying at home mourning the loss of her husband and fighting symptoms of coronavirus, awaiting her second PCR result. You need to stop being dummies and come out from this bubble. Corona is real. You're just shaming our country. Someone just died. Why don't you just think for a minute that they have not gathered enough information from all that I spoke about before jumping for a press conference? And I'm going to state again, my parents traveled at their own risk, but they were only returning to their home with the belief that if anything were to go wrong, the government had things in place like they stated on all their websites, platforms and briefings."
GBN reached out to the person who was identified as the author of the post today with an invitation to share her story. She is said to be residing in the United States. Although she replied via an inquiry about the GBN outreach, there was no further contact. The management and staff of the GBN extend condolences to the family. Meanwhile, as people eagerly await word from officials on what was reported as the country's first COVID-19 death, members of the media fraternity were perplexed about the sudden turn of events. In addition to being left with no story, they were left with further questions, and one relating to credibility. Rena Pear reports.
At 5:10 p.m. on Sunday evening, government through a press release announced that a media briefing, which was scheduled for 5 p.m. with Minister for Health Nicholas Steele and CMO Dr. Sean Charles, was cancelled due to inadequate information. The press briefing was expected to provide details on pronouncements made in a press release, which was issued by government just hours before regarding the island's first COVID-19 death. Media practitioner Beverly St. Clair was among those awaiting the briefing.
I wondered, well, why did you schedule a press conference if you knew you didn't have the facts? Were you hoping to get the facts between the time of announcing a press conference and actually hosting the press conference? What would have caused the team to announce a press conference, not having the facts, and then having to cancel at the last minute? Those were the questions in my mind, because if you're not ready at the time you're sending out the notice, you should know what grounds you have to cover between sending out the notice and hosting the conference. So that, again, to me was showing that the ministry team is maybe not on top of their game as far as these issues are concerned.
While it is difficult to say what may have triggered the cancellation of the briefing, St. Clair said a post on social media sparked speculations.
There was a rant, I would say, in social media on Facebook from someone who claims to be a close relative to the person who died, and some accusations were made of the Ministry of Health, of how things were handled at the hospital in St. Andrew, and kind of giving a timeline of when the person who passed away eventually, of when he got sick and the time he died, and highlighting what would appear to be a number of deficiencies in how he was treated and how the matter was handled by medical personnel. So with that information coming out, I can't say we are just speculating here, but maybe the ministry did not have that information and would want to check into what happened at the hospital if the gentleman actually went there.
The claims made by the daughter of the deceased that her father received a negative PCR result but was later diagnosed as being positive followed claims by Sandal Resorts a few days earlier that some of its staff members later received negative results after being told initially that they tested positive. These developments have cast doubts on the credibility of government's PCR results.
Information coming out about testing and test results, for me personally, it has not been very convincing. There seems to be too much confusion with the results coming from these tests. And while the Ministry of Health team will insist that they are following the international protocols as far as the testing goes, I just hear far too many stories about people who test positive and then they're negative, or they test negative and a few days later they're positive. There are just far too many of those stories out there. And it makes me wonder about what is happening from the collecting of the samples to the testing to giving people their results. People would like to know that when they get a result, the result is firm and this is it, they either negative or positive. But those kinds of reports, Rena, have just been far too many, with people saying, oh, negative, positive, negative, positive. It's confusing.
As the developments unfold, the public waits patiently for answers from the government of Grenada. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear reporting.
The National Democratic Congress has condemned the manner in which the information was released and how the case was handled. Deputy Chairman Kennedy Roberts says this shows the lack of proper management and leadership within the health system.
We need to have more training for health providers to ensure that they're able to address this special situation with COVID and not make any judgments once the symptoms are there, and try to use COVID as the first possible possibility before sending them home for other reasons. So we want to just continue asking our health workers to do what they have to do, but we know the situation is such that you're not as motivated as you need to be, but keep the work going and be professional in what you do, and treat the people in a manner that they can feel the love.
He also had this message for the public based on the extensions of the curfew.
We also have to take this opportunity with families now being confined to their homes for longer periods, use this opportunity to improve the relationship among families. Let's not fall into the statistics of talking about more domestic violence and child abuse in these situations. Let us use the opportunity to tell stories about what's your family history, give the Nancy stories, do things more together as a family, cook, exercise, and really share that love and try to address the mental health stresses that come with confinement and dealing with this COVID situation for a prolonged period of time. A lot of us are going through tremendous difficulties in terms of our stresses, not being able to do the things we're normally accustomed doing. So let us exercise more. Let us try to take on this COVID in a manner that we can improve our livelihoods. Let us plant more food. We're still getting a bit of rain. Let us try to spend a little time outside. If you have the little space, if you don't have much space, be creative, and let's do more agricultural projects around our communities.
The first day of 2021 began on a horrific note for one biker. He is being flown out of the country because of the severity of injuries to his leg. The biker was involved in a collision with a car at Bathway, St. Patrick. This is a worrying sign for law enforcers who have reflected on statistics for 2020, during which 5 accidents claimed the lives of 7 individuals. More in this report from Chrislina John. However, at this point, we wish to advise that some of the material in this report could prove to be disturbing for people with varying sensitivities. As such, pictures may appear. Viewer discretion is advised.
Alvin Rush of Central Guelph Estate, Guelph St. John, was flown out of Grenada out of fear that he may lose 2 of his limbs. His right leg was partially severed and his right arm broken when the 3-wheeler motorcycle he was riding collided with a grey Alteza in Bathway on New Year's Day. What started off as a New Year's Day ride-out with fellow bikers ended painfully for him. Passers-by rendered their assistance to the badly injured biker while they waited for the paramedics to arrive. Rush was taken away by ambulance about 3/4 of an hour later. Speaking to Superintendent in charge of the Traffic Department, Randy Connaught, there were reports of 31 minor accidents and 1 major between the period December 31st, 2020 and January 3rd, 2021.
Occurred between a motorcycle and a car, and the injured party had to be flown out to receive advanced medical care. The circumstances are yet to be determined, as we are still in the process of investigation. But as time progresses, we'll be in a position to better apprise the media as to what the circumstances were and what action, if any, has been taken as a result of that accident.
Some of the accidents the officer confirmed were as a result of speeding. The use of the breathalyzer has also contributed to officers determining the percentage of alcohol consumed by some individuals.
Most of the accidents that were reported and we had to attend to was as a result of persons driving without due care and attention. And that has been throughout, I would say, for the entire, the major reason or the major factor, contributing factor resulting from the accidents that we have had to attend to. Obviously, speeding in some instances, and also driving under the influence of alcohol.
These were not the only arrests performed.
Driving without driver's license has significantly increased throughout 2020. I don't have the figures with me, but obviously, as I indicated, when all those are tabulated, we'll be able to provide a comprehensive report on the outcomes of the traffic department for 2020. But suffice to say the numbers are very, very large with respect to individuals being arrested and charged for driving without driver's license.
The traffic head sounds this reminder to motorists.
The traffic department really wants in the motoring public and even pedestrians that when you use the public road to exercise the necessary care and caution, because it is our intention moving forward to have more dialogue with the members of the public and to promote safer driving, because we could really do without some of the accidents that we see happening on the public roads, and also at the same time to stay within the ambits of the law.
Christina John, GBN News.
Turbulent waves on the weekend eroded more of the little land left around homes at the Cadore Bay, and residents are expressing their anger. GBN's Trelawna Charles spoke with the residents who are not happy to start the new year with this continued threat to their properties.
Residents of the Cadore Bay area are expressing their frustration as they continue to face the effects of the Cadore Breakwater project. Over the New Year weekend, turbulent waves presented a major problem for the residents in the area as the land around their houses began to erode. Videos posted to Facebook on the first day of the year have since caught the attention of many. Residents Shami White Williams, who posted the videos, and Imelda John spoke to GBN about their experience.
It was really serious show because the wave came up, the wave started breaking higher up and started eating out all the banks close to my house and to some of the houses. And water was coming down in her yard. My sister underneath her house, the water was coming. The water was passing through my yard and going to the canal. We understand that there is bad weather out there, but something needs to be done. Something needs to be done. We can't always blame it on bad weather.
Roads in the area have been completely washed away and houses have had to be partially dismantled to prevent entire structures from falling into the sea. This young man stands in what used to be his bedroom and looks at the oncoming waves. He told GBN his family has no other option at this point than to relocate. GBN was informed that after petitions were signed, a meeting was held on October 13th, 2020 in the community with Ministers Anthony Boson and Pamela Moses to discuss a solution to the problem. But they said despite promises made, they have yet to see any work being done to save the area.
When they did the project there, they say, well, they're going to come back. They go to save Victoria Church. They say from there they will come back and start in church. Up to now, nothing been done. And it will be long,
As it relates to relocation, the residents were presented with two options by Minister Boson.
The minister said it in the meeting again that he was going to relocate us to the villa, or if you have land, or if you could get land, you will be given $8,000 for assistance towards a house, which I find is rather unfair. He could have come up with a third option, or meet with us again and discuss it. There is a lot of lands about the place here that, the government could come in and purchase it, because we already have a little village, Purchase it for us and let me start our life again.
What once was a beautiful beachfront area is slowly disappearing before their eyes. The residents said their hearts hurt as they witness firsthand the destruction of their homes, and they are determined to do whatever is necessary to save their community. Trelawna Charles, GBN News.
Wow, climate change in action. After spending over 1 year at Her Majesty's prison in Grenada, an African asylum seeker has been set free with the help of his lawyer. Rena Pear broke this story in early 2020, and she closes this chapter now.
After months of discussion with government, attorney at law Herika Willis says she and her client are happy with the ending results. The African national, who was never named, came to Grenada in August of 2019 seeking asylum. On his arrival at the Grenada Red Cross, the relevant authority was notified of his situation. However, some concerns arise that instead of finding freedom, the asylum seeker was sent to jail for 7 days initially. This later turned to over a year. During an exclusive interview with GBN on Monday, Willis said her client, whose identity remains protected, is happy that he is free with the help of many.
He was released on New Year's Eve, quite suddenly, although I was informed several weeks earlier that the legal affairs would be going to Cabinet to effect his release. So I'm very pleased to inform everyone that my client has now been released from prison. He is here in Grenada and being sponsored and looked after by the United Nations until he is moved to another country.
Grenada presently has no laws in place for people seeking asylum in the country. Erica hopes that what happened to her client can change this.
That the present position is not acceptable. All that is required is the laws to be put in place. At the moment, when an individual enters Grenada and goes to the Red Cross Society, the Red Cross had done what they were mandated to do. They informed the government and also the United Nations. But I've said this is a new year and a new start. He's been freed, and hopefully everyone will learn from this episode.
Her client, along with another asylum seeker who arrived in Grenada in March 2020, will leave the island in the coming weeks.
We're just thanking God for all the assistance. Everybody is stressed at the moment, but he would like to thank, and of course myself, everybody for their prayers and to thank them. He'll be here just a couple of weeks, but he will be going to a country who accept asylum seekers. And I must say, it's him and the other asylum seeker who came here in March 2020 will be relocated.
For GBN News, I am Rina Pear reporting.
Grenada's newly appointed Attorney General Dia Forrester assumed duties on Monday, while her former boss, Darshan Ramdani, prepares to depart the country to sit as judge in the British Virgin Islands. Charian Blackman-Stephen tells us more.
Dia Forrester, who became Grenada's first female Attorney General on Monday, says she will serve in her new capacity without fear or favor.
As I assume the position of Attorney General, I do so with the comfort of knowing that the law is the law, the Constitution is the Constitution. Critics will criticize, but more importantly, what is good and right and just will always prevail. I am clear in the task ahead of me, and it is not lost on me the significance of the occasion, because I do understand that I am probably indeed the first female Attorney General. So I should take a moment to thank all of the women who came before me and would have laid the foundation for me to be where I am today. And likewise, my present group of female warriors who keep me grounded and keep me conscious that I must do my best at all times. And of course, that means I must serve without fear or favor. I am thankful for the confidence bestowed in me by the Prime Minister and the Cabinet and his government. And what I can say to individuals is that my work speaks for itself, and it will continue to speak for itself.
The new AG spoke about some of her accomplishments.
I was first called to the bar in Grenada in 2008. I have been practicing between Grenada, St. Kitts, Nevis, and Anguilla for several years. I am a former partner at the law firm of Daniel Brantley in Nevis. That's a predominant and prominent law firm, civil and litigation and commercial litigation law firm there. Likewise, as most persons are aware, I have been the Solicitor General from 2019, I think it's April 2019 to December 2020.
The country's first female AG is grateful to those who paved the way for her success.
It will be remiss of me to not thank my family for the contributions that they have made towards just my professional development over the years, from my mom and my brothers and sisters, my husband, Kimon, and of course my late father, who was probably my biggest fan and biggest supporter. He would have been very, very proud of my accomplishments just generally and where I am today. So it is very important to me that I do this, and I do this well, because I know of the efforts that persons have made to get me where I am and the expectations that lie ahead.
Forrester officially replaced Dashin Randani as Attorney General of Grenada after serving as Solicitor General since April 2019. Meanwhile, the former Attorney General will take up the appointment as High Court Judge from the 11th of this month. Ramdani, who served as AG from January 2019 to December 30th, 2020, spoke to GBN via telephone on Monday.
I have been recently asked to deal with a few criminal matters in the BVI as a judge. And so I've taken up a temporary appointment for about 2.5 months, and I'll be stationed in the BVI, after which time I'll return to private practice.
Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
First female Attorney General. Good news. And we're keeping with the good news. 3 mothers ushered in the new year with the arrivals of their new bundles of joy. A pair of sisters made the welcome much brighter as they extended gift baskets to the mothers.
At 5:17 a.m. on Friday, Alexia became the first baby to be born in Grenada in 2021. A baby boy, Tyler, followed at 1:48 p.m. and another baby boy, Zayden, at 9:50 p.m., all on January 1st, 2021. Irva Coutain-Ross and Eva Coutain of Expression Salon visited the General Hospital on the weekend, bringing large gift baskets of newborn clothing and other items for the mothers who delivered on January 1st, 2021. Coutain-Ross told the GBN, given the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact not only on the healthcare system but on families' ability to provide for themselves, the sisters thought it was meaningful to provide tokens to the mothers of the New Year babies.
We've been doing donations for over roughly 5-6 years now. But this is the first time we are doing the hospital. The reason why we decided to do this was because we realize it's COVID time and people have some things they may not be able to take care of. But because we like giving, we decided to choose the hospital. Because after doing all the schools, the homes, we decided, no, we have to think about the hospital.
Coutain-Ross said for the last 6 years, she and her twin sister have donated to different sectors of society, and this year decided to donate to the General Hospital for the first time.
We were doing our investigation to find out how we go around doing it and what happens by talking to nurses, talking to higher people and the authorities. They give us the information as to how to go along doing this. Every donation we do comes from our pocket, whether it's a school, whether it's a home. Every donation we do over the years comes from our pocket.
According to the Government Information Services, Dr. Carol McIntosh and the team at the General Hospital are appreciative of the show of support for the patients at the hospital. For GBN News, Beverly Tellisford.
Get the Christmas feeling at Dean's Mattress today and all through the holiday season. Dean's is bringing you absolute great Christmas cheer. Your reward, supportive, a comfortable feel when you get a mattress from Dean's this Christmas season. Special offers on beds, foam, divans, and mattresses. Call Dean's today about your needs for odd size mattresses, baby crib mattresses, and mattresses for yachts. And of course, all the smart shoppers who placed your items on layaway, get them today with special offer from Dean's. Free delivery island-wide and to the boat for the Carriacou and Pity Martinique customers. Call Dean's now, 440-3240 or 440-0552. Dean's Mattress, where quality is never compromised. Merry Christmas from Dean's Mattress.
12 Total is one of the world's largest oil companies with a top quality line of lubricants. Total Lubricants has a full product line from passenger cars, motorcycle, heavy industrial equipment, mining, trucking, agriculture, and manufacturing machines and vehicles. Total Lubricants, winning championships in motorsports, including Formula One and World Rally Championships. Total Lubricants are available at all Rubis service stations, leading automotive shops, and distributed by Huggins.
These have been tough times, and we could all use a helping hand to get through this period. GUT Credit Union gives you the opportunity to do just that without a worry. What are you looking forward to? A relaxing staycation? Brand new appliances or devices? Consolidating your debt to get more money in your pocket? Not a member? No worries. Come in and find out how you too can make the most of this offer. Call or visit us today. Yes, you can have a brighter Christmas season with GUT Credit Union. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform? Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, easy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
So again, news coming out of Jamaica via the Observer, that's the Jamaica Observer, is that founder and chairman of the ATL group of companies, Gordon Butch Stewart, he passed away last night. He was 79. Now Stewart, of course, who is also the chairman of the Observer, as the story indicates, will be best remembered for the multiple award-winning Sandals and Beaches resort, which helped to establish the Caribbean, especially Jamaica, as a world-class tourism destination. condolence to him and the family and the Sanders family by extension. We're keeping our eyes on the clock. 20 minutes onto the hour. 20 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time. We want to shout to those of you that's locked in via our Facebook channel. Good morning to you wherever you are. Lady Alison Cox, we say good morning to you. Those of you via the YouTube channel, we say good morning. Well, it is Tuesday, and there's a lot of things that we can talk about. There's a lot of things we can talk about. While the year it is still new, we can just on the top of our fingers. And instead of always, you have to ask yourself, what do I talk about in the morning time? Do I go with the politics? And so when you tell yourself the politics, you start going, And yesterday I was having a conversation on my way home, and we were talking about the breakdown in society. An adult complaining that, young people, they've lost their respect, their moral virtue, their moral compass, and every such thing that goes with it. And then I had to ask the question, but let's assume for a moment that you were right, that we've totally done a wrong part, we're going the wrong way, and there's no hope for us. Let's assume that is in fact correct, that our young people, that they're totally misguided. I know what I'm saying. Let's assume, for the purpose of the conversation, that our young people are totally misguided, totally on the wrong path. Then whose fault is it? Who takes responsibility for the current demise of our young people, the state of where society is at? Who takes responsibility? That's the question this morning. Is it the young people's fault? Or is it a case that we as the adult, we have to, as they say, brace ourselves and accept the harsh reality that maybe we have failed? Or is it that we imparted everything that we've imparted onto them, but as the old people say, the break stick in their ears? Or is it a case of both, where we've done our best, but maybe our best wasn't enough, and maybe they were influenced by other secondary measures, maybe television, what's coming, different cultures and different things, the evolution of our society? Or is it maybe that's just the way that it has to be? Let's talk the thing. That's the conversation for this morning. Let's forget the politics, put the politics aside. Let's forget the WRB for now. Let's just put COVID on the back burner. Let's just put, of course, Mr. Andel and his concerns about the teachers, legitimate concerns. But let's just table them for a while and take a look at where our society is, our young people. Who takes responsibility for it? Who is at fault? Us? Or is it them? Or is it a collective responsibility? 435-2041, that is the number on the inside. We have a caller on the telephone line. Classic, good morning, you're live.
Yes, Joseph, good morning.
Good morning to you. Go ahead, please.
How are you? Happy New Year.
Well, happy New Year to you. I'm wonderful as always.
Yes, that's great. I think it's a combination of all that you mentioned. Now, there are a lot of parents that do not teach their children anything about God. They don't send them to church as before. When I was a child growing up, you had children going to church. You had children going to Sunday school, some in the morning, according to which denomination, some in the afternoon on a Sunday. So children grew up, I grew up hearing about God, knowing about God, and even in the schools. I remember my principal in primary school just stand up on the table and read out the scriptures to the students and make them know that as students we need to connect to God. But we have failed in that we do not teach children about God. So they are growing up not knowing anything about God. And we give them some sort of just a vague certain thing about God. So they don't recognize the need to connect to God. And so they have gone astray. We forget we have a devil loose. And his aim is to steal, kill, and destroy humanity. And so if we have pushed God out of society, we push God out of the marketplace.
Okay.
Obviously, the devil will take over. And that is what, and unless as a nation, from the head to the toe, turn back to God and repent and ask God's mercy, the young people are going to be lost. And this is who the devil is going after now. He's going after the youth. And
Okay.
so if we don't pray for them and encourage them to turn back to God and to seek God and to get to know God as a person, personally, intimately, they are doomed.
Great, thanks a lot, caller. 25 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time. At whose feet do we throw the blame? Where we are, the decadence, the decay that is in society. We have so many of these social ills. You hear the young people are saying, well, X, Y, and Z. The adults are saying they've lost their respect, they've lost their way. Who takes responsibility? Classic, good morning, you're live, 25 past the hour.
A pleasant good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning to you, sir.
Agree more with that first caller. I remember in my childhood days, as the first caller said, you learn to pray, you go to church, you talk about God, and at times with children be persistent or keep making the same mistake all the time with something else. We were told, well, listen, Papa God is looking at you, and and this had you curbed in such a way that you have the tendency or willingness to be obedient. And what you heard at home, you heard it in the school. In Sunday school, you hear, I know of cases where, as Catholic and priests taking out their belt and, whipping guys. And don't let, the school I went to, don't let the headmaster hear that you're misbehaving in church, etc. More licks, you get in licks home. But then things have changed. Technology came in on the scene, and all sorts of things are happening. And the culture of other prisons, I'll be specific, the North American culture that have influenced some of us through television and other things, we fail to correct our children at the time they should be corrected.
Okay.
And, things have reached that stage.
Joey, thank you very much, sir.
Now, before you go,
yes,
I want to take the opportunity to talk about something. I won't be long because I know that people would like to come in. Now, yesterday I was not at home. When I came in, I saw, what might appear to be a letter, blank, no, not coming from, I don't know where it come from. My attendance, my attitude was, I don't know, no name, anything. But I threw this away or get a match and light it, etc. But on second thought, okay, opened it, and I saw that it was a postcard coming from the Prime Minister's ministry. Now, what I'm saying, listeners, listen to me. I want to make myself very clear and specific. In my view, I am not going to blame the Prime Minister per se for sending a card to people in his constituency. I am going to blame the people in his office. He's a busy man. And to have done such a thing, people ought, if they were given the instruction, okay, I want this to go to my constituency, they ought to use their common sense and either put something from Prime Minister's office or something indicating that this came from the Prime Minister's office. I appreciate and thank the PM for that card. But what I don't like is just a blank thing coming and you don't know who it's from. And I'm sure the other people would comment on it and not say anything, but I thought it best to speak about it publicly so that he can check the office, the members in the office, and find out who is responsible for that. Okay. Plus, the post office should not receive something in like that.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
This is the other thing I want to talk about. Thank you.
All the best to you. 29 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time. It is the sound of Classic 105.5, 105.9. And it's your boy JC here with you, getting you through the morning time. 8 o'clock work as it is, well, depending on where you are. I mean, unless you're living downstairs and working upstairs, or it's a case whereby you're already in the living room and you're working in the kitchen, then you should be on your way, one way or the other, to your station, to the job, wherever you are. If you notice already by now that there's a backup in the traffic or some sort of issue that would render you being late, then I suggest you call now. But we're having a conversation this morning, and you too can chime in whether or not it's on Facebook or via our WhatsApp. I'm going to take a call now and then go to see what is on WhatsApp. Classic, good morning, you're live. Who is it to be played?
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, based on the question you asked, I don't think we can blame the young people. I think we are growing up. We grew up in a society years ago, or for parents and even we who is adults, that there was the norm. And you live in the outer world, I live in the outer world. People don't care, in a sense, who you are. They meet you on the street. They don't tell you good morning. You meet young people on the street, they'll pass you straight. Even though you know them as neighbors, they don't say hi, hello, morning like we do in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And the Pampassador, they live the same way. I think what happened is we are accustomed to the norm. I think the only thing, one of the things I think that they can do, you see, like to try to keep our traditional way of life, I think they need to have institutions that go to the schools and talk to the young people, teach them about the morals of being, what they should do, how they should not do it, and whatever. So when they come out into the working world, they'll be able to use that's what they learn in school to carry on their life.
So if we were to buy to your line of argument, then the fault lies at the feet of the adults.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Is they have to blame certain programs in the ministries or in the government in the country, and the young people today they have social media at their fingertips. So there are a lot of things you will tell a young child, you'll tell a child now, and they go on the social media and look it up.
Well, let me ask you though, honestly, because it is easy in the where we live now, the 21st century, to blame social media. But is there anything new under the sun? Is there anything that happens today that wasn't happening 50 years ago? And I'm just asking this so we can add some depth to the conversation, as you mentioned, social media.
Yeah, I think years ago, things we were never accustomed with is at your fingertips now. I'm not blaming social media because there was a lot of things happening years ago, even before I was born, that we never knew of, but it was not exposed to the world as it is today.
Exposure. Okay.
You understand? So social young kids today take up a lot of other things that is of interest.
Okay.
And they run with it. But we should have programs in place to help curtail it. You wouldn't stop it.
Right.
You understand? But we could help curtail it so that, like, when a young child or even an adult meet you on the street, whether they know you or not, down here they say good morning, good afternoon. In the other world, people don't do that.
That doesn't. You know, it's interesting. You go into a social space and you say good morning or good evening, and people look at you as though you may have a few that may respond, but in greater parts they look at you like, okay.
But they think some of them think you have something to say to them.
Okay. I understand. Thanks a lot, sir. I appreciate your contribution.
Once you engage them, good morning, good afternoon, they think you have something to say to them. Sometime again, they look at you and they walk off.
It's the parents at fault, we say.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks a lot, sir.
Okay, bro.
26 minutes onto the hour. Where do we lay the blame for the decadence, the decay, the decline that we've seen in society? Our young people, it is said, they're going a totally different way. Who takes the blame? Is it the adults? Is it the children? Or do we share in the blame this morning? Good morning, you're live. Welcome to the program.
Yes, good morning, JC.
Good morning to you, sir.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you and yours as well.
All the best for the new year.
Thank you.
I'll tell you, what is the question you asked?
So we're looking at the social decay, the social decline. It has been argued that our young people, they have lost their way. If that is so, who's to be blamed?
Well, I'll tell you something. I don't know how long you're on the radio, listening to radio, but I know you're in the radio station a good time. And if you go back to your archives, you will get the answer there. That individual you're speaking is a preacher on that subject for many, many, many years. And the question asked, if you're going to bring a baby wouldn't you prepare for that baby before it arrives? Right. So if you are bringing more and more young people into the world, shouldn't you prepare for the development in every way? Now, I said over the years, the economy. You should run a country through the commerce. And if commerce is not that active to create the revenue for everybody, be it the government or the private sector, would you be able to employ? No, you're educating, and that is good. Brilliant children. But you're only educating to put in a bank. And I have been saying that the world is going to shut down for quite some time, and they will have nowhere to go. What would you do with your citizens? I was preaching what you call export education. The surplus, you export it. But there is no avenue. There's no chance now to do this. So we jam. We didn't want to be independent, but we have to be independent because we can't go anywhere and we can't receive anybody. That's the problem.
And let me ask you, while I agree with the point that you're making, but the issue of lack of jobs and all that's a separate issue. What I mean in the context of the conversation, when I want to focus on the decline, the moral values, not the issue that happens on the economic front. The lack of respect, the decline in value, the decay of our moral fiber. That is what I want us to focus on itself.
Okay, so here is where it's coming from, and that's my song. Leadership, responsibility, roles and responsibility, accountability to the citizens. So if you do not have the leadership that is preparing for the future, and I'm not saying leadership in the context of politics, we're all around. If the people who have to prepare for the new coming people are not doing that, what would happen? So leadership could cause that this breakdown in the fabric of society, and that's where it is. So we have a social breakdown now.
So it's the adults that is at fault. The adults at fault.
Adults.
Okay.
That's the problem here. We
Okay.
did not prepare for the youth. So what they're acting out here is what was in the incubator. We did not prepare for them. There is nowhere to go. The back is jammed against it. What I said, we have damaged the youth, and that is a fact. We can't blame the youth for what is happening. We have to blame ourselves.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, sir.
Have a great day.
All the best to you. 23 minutes onto the hour. What say you? You can feel free to chime in into the conversation. It is Tuesday morning. It's your boy JC reminding you, of course, that after 8 we give you a bulletin of news, and then at 9 o'clock to the point. But for now, you can be part of the conversation as well. Let's see what's happening via social media. This contributor says the youths have their own minds. They choose their own path with the knowledge they don't respect anyone. Is that actually the truth? In addition, some refuse to seek employment and instead sitting on the blocks making big money otherwise. Our politicians, they fail. They did not visit them on the blocks and talk to them or find things to occupy them. That's a healthy contribution you make, but we can always dissect that as well. Classic, good morning, you're live. We've lost that caller, 435-2041. So youths, they have a mind of their own. Is that actually true? That we all have a mind of our own. So it's not just the young people that have minds of their own. It's not just the young people that seems lost at times, and we have to castigate them and criticize them. Some adults make some woeful choices. So, and very often the youths are not sitting on the blocks by themselves, are they? What say you? I don't know. Let's go back to the telephone lines. Classic, good morning. You're live. You're part of the program.
Morning greetings, Brother Joe.
Good morning. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Happy New Year to you still.
Happy New Year to you as well, sir.
Yeah. Now, we have a problem, and a big problem that will just start here. You know, it starts from the school, it starts from the church, it starts all the way there. Because you know what? They divert our attention to something else instead of our history. History is what could put us on foot. History that could open our eyes, open our ears. History could know where we come from. History could bring us to where we're supposed to go. And when we watch our world today, look, the internet is so big. They're telling us all the lies that people lie to us, and all how they trick us, and all how they bramble us, and all how they fool us, and all how they give us bad thing to think about and to pray every day, and more badness happening, and we don't check in ourselves because you know why? The Chinese man say black people stupid. You really believe that, Brother Joe?
Well, I'm not. No Chinese man ever told me that.
No, I'm telling you what he say.
But what I'm asking, but and that might be a conversation to have. But who's at fault for the decay in our? the decline,
Well,
the social
that's what I'm
decadence.
saying. The leaders that come before, they never take the part. We have a culture, you know. We're not just anyhow. We're not Chinese. We're not Russian. We're not European. Who are we? And as long as we can face that, more we pray, yeah, mean nothing. Because you know why? If you disrespect or you dishonor your mother and father and grandmother and grandfather and great, nobody wouldn't answer with prayers. Give thanks, Brother Joe.
So who's at fault? The adults or children?
Well, I would say, yes, the leaders that put themselves in position
So the
and backing
adults.
up on the European culture.
Okay, so we agree with you. It's the adults that is at fault. Who is at fault? What say you? How do we deal and address with? As we look at where we are as a society, we seem as though we've a long way from home base. Let's go back to the telephone lines before we take a commercial break. Classic, good morning. You're live.
Good morning, Joseph. Welcome to the Morning Grenada. And I would just want to say morning to Blossom on occasion.
Good morning to you.
And I firmly believe that a lot of what is going on is as a result of the adults' failure to correct discipline and just be there for the kids.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot.
Have a blessed day.
Wonderful. Stay blessed as well. 435-2041. We have to take a commercial break. Well, let me just look and see what's happening here via social media. On WhatsApp, this gentleman says parents have abdicated their responsibility, or perhaps they are too young to know better. It is hard to reason with people with religious belief when they don't get their belief by reason in the first place. The youths, they have their own minds. And that's just some of the thoughts and feelings that's been shared via social media. It's about 18 minutes onto the hour of 8 o'clock. We'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back, right here on Classic in the Morning Time. Food is fundamental, and at Caribbean Agro Industries Limited, we source premium quality wheat and other ingredients, so you get the best results in the kitchen, bakeries and farms. For over 35 years, we've supplied Grenada with the finest flour and animal feed. The tastiest cakes, pastries or breads are baked with the region's finest flour. Buy the products you've trusted for all these years. Baker's Pride, Supreme and Sunshine Flour. Get the best from your farm animals with our Master Mix Feed brands. Support local. Buy products that are made in Grenada. Call us on 440-2954 or visit us at Mount Gay St. George or check our Facebook page. Caribbean Agro Industries Limited, a subsidiary of ADM. Unlocking nature, enriching life.
Do you want to win loads of prizes this Christmas with BIP? Join our Spin to Win promotion to win exciting prizes daily. Here's how. Go to the Discover section of the BIP app. Search for the Spin to Win channel and click follow. Once you have followed the channel, click the Spin Now button, choose your device type, select your country, and wait for the wheel to start spinning. Be quick. When your wheel lands on the correct prize of the day, screenshot the prize and send your screenshot to the Spin to Win chat to enter the promotion. Click the Daily Updates button to get updates on the prize you are required to spin for each day, and also to know if you are the lucky winner of the day.
A Merry Christmas, spin and win with Bib.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Get Ruby Gas. Get cooking. cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going.
Exploring the good morning and welcome back to our listeners and our viewers. 14 minutes onto the hour. A little bit of Glory Gaynor in the background. Indeed, I will survive. You will survive. Let's talk. Let's be positive in our outlook and our resolve to do what has to be done. We go back to the telephone lines. Classic, good morning, you live.
Good morning, Mr. Joe.
Good morning to you, sir.
I think many of us have heard about the word modern and ancient. Now, I want to know, what do you mean by ancient? Now that I do not know, what do you mean by modern? Now, to me, all these changes must occur because we are living in a modern age. I don't know what is the norm of the modern age and what was the norm of the ancient age. So I feel those things, you expect those things to happen. I don't know what I expect, but I expect things to change because we are living in a modern age. What helped to change those things? Maybe it's we. So, but bear in mind, we are living in the right age, the modern age. So we expect those things that are happening now. Maybe parents cannot rule children, or probably norm they consider to be norm is no longer norm.
So who's to be blamed? Is this all just part of nature?
The age, possible nature, the age, modern and ancient, and so on and so on.
So nobody's responsibility for the current state?
I don't think so. The age that's responsible.
Okay, so as it is what it is.
Yes, definitely. Okay. We expect those changes.
If you say so, sir. Great.
That's my take on this.
That's your take on it, no problem. It's about 13 minutes on to the hour in the morning time. We're taking a look at where we are, the lack of respect, the societal, the decadence in society. Who's to be blamed? Is it the young people or is it the adults? What say you? Good morning. You're alive. 12 minutes on to the hour.
Morning, sir.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, well, scripture states that you should grow a child in the way that they should. So when they get old, you wouldn't depart from them. You understand? If you are, well, they say children making children. So if the children that are making are not educated, how are they going to educate their own children? You understand? How are they going to speak to their children?
So who is at fault?
Well, I always say the elders are at fault.
The elders is at fault.
Yeah, because the elders always portray a bad attitude, and children are mirrors of elders. So if the elders are going down the road, the children is going to pick up that and they're going to go the same way.
Okay.
Thank you.
It is a saying that they live what they learn. 435-2041, that's the number on the inside. We're keeping our eyes on the clock. It's 11 minutes onto the hour. We've got about 5 minutes left with you. Let's see what's happening via social media. But let's take a telephone call first. Good morning. You're alive.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
How are you?
Wonderful, thank you.
Well, nice topic this morning, I feel the adults to have to take most of the blame. Because sometimes when we look around, what we do to our children, sometimes we don't even bring our children the way they're supposed to bring in this world. Sometimes you go in a party, you drunk, you drink when you don't even know yourself. You bring a child. If you plant a bad seed, obviously you'll get some bad fruit. And we as adults, I'm a mother too, we feel miserable.
Okay.
And we could ask God to guide us and pull us back. So I will take, as parents, I will give us 95% and give the children 5%, because when they grow, they have a brain too.
Right.
And when they reach adult, then they could make the decision. But for growing them and nurturing them, we have all the blame to take as adults.
Great. Thanks a lot, caller.
Right.
10 minutes until the hour. It's the sound of classic in the morning time. This person via WhatsApp says, you bend the tree while it is young. Don't spare the rod and spoil the child. The child is not in, what child is not in place today? That's why we have it so. But keep in mind, while you don't want to spare the rod and spoil the child, that you don't abuse them as well. And that's one of the strike. And actually, you get a lot of the varied conversations as to, while you hear people say, well, I grew up and my mother beat me for everything. Okay, well. Good morning, you're alive.
Hi, good morning, Joe, and Happy New Year to you. And
thank you, Happy New Year to you, sir.
Everyone on your platforms. Before I answer the question, let me just make an observation. If you look around in nature, there are many creatures in nature that never see their young. In some cases, like some fish, or even some birds, they lay an egg and they go, and it incubates on its own. There are many creatures, reptiles and so. There are other animals, even among the mammals. They sometimes after a day or two, they're up and about. They can go, and interface with nature and the environment. Think of the human infant. Do you know how long it takes for them to gain independence? And if you will never speak to them, they never know that they can speak. If you don't lift them up, they don't know that they can stand. They are so dependent on us. And I'm saying that to say that the wise Creator made us so dependent on our parents and adults for everything. That's why He made us so weak and so feeble at birth. So we have no excuse. We have enormous time to mold and fashion. The same way you teach them how to eat, you teach them how to speak, how to walk. They cannot do anything without us. So a lot of the blame has to go with us.
Okay.
Even going to school. I mean, we have them for some, well, now we have daycare, but in my time, 5 years before they leave the house. So a lot of that blame. Kids have a mind of their own. We know that. There's some of them born with certain predispositions. But the adults, in the case of human beings, God has designed us that way, that we are responsible for molding and for cultivating and everything for the offspring.
Great.
Okay?
Thank you very much, sir.
You're most welcome.
It's about 8 minutes onto the hour. I've got about 3 minutes left with you. You two can weigh in on the conversation. Who's to be blamed? At whose feet do we throw his responsibility? Do we lay the responsibility and say, fix this? Can it be fixed? But first, who takes responsibility? We go back to the telephone lines. Classic, good morning. You're live.
Good morning, Jesse. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Many happy returns to you, sir.
I'm calling from Lakalang again about this water running on the road right in front of my house. This sewage, it come like a ravine now. First it gets in big, a ravine running down in the road, children passing there. I can't even breathe inside my house.
And I might assume that you have made this report to the necessary authorities already?
Oh, yes. I even started to myself still on the radio.
Right.
And nothing happened up to now. It's 7 months going now. It's right in. I'm not talking about the sewage down in the end down there. No. I'm talking about right on top here in the road, in the middle of the street, running off like a ravine.
Right.
I mean, I don't say road is talking about down there. I'm not talking about this 10 years thing. I'm talking about 7 months thing going on forever in the road.
And that is sewage, you say that is literally in the street?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you're on the open platform. I'm certain you've made your appeal again. We can only hope and pray that the necessary authorities.
I mean, I've been saying that for so long. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they think politics is health. Politics is not health. I know health is health.
Well, let's assume with the birth of the new year that maybe it would institute and probably allow for some change.
All right, JC, thank you.
With all the best to you. Have yourself a great day. It's about 5 minutes onto the hour at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, workers. If you're not on the JOB as of now, you are officially late. End of story. I leave that right there. You now have to decide, should I get paid for the rest of the month? For the day? Should I? Yeah? Or how much should I be paid? We're just going to try to entertain this final call. Classic, good morning, you're live.
Good morning, Godfrey. Morning.
Good morning, this is Joseph.
A lovely program. But you know,
Thank
I think
you.
parents are the ones responsible. They have abdicated their responsibilities. They have been brought up in a certain way by their parents. And they fail to pass on what they have learned to the children. They leave the children technology to grow up the children. And technology can't grow up the children. The children need to be guided. Because as one of your scholars said, the children depend on you from the time they're born. So at what time do the role change, where children become parents and parents become children? So the parents have a lot to do with the final outcome of their children because they have given up that responsibility and what they were taught to their children.
Great, thanks a lot, caller.
Welcome.
And that's where we pull the plug on that on the conversation this morning. It's about 4 minutes onto the hour. It's just classic in the morning. Time classic 105.5, 105.9. We want to say thanks to everyone that participated in making this morning segment what it is. Again, I want to encourage you as you go through the day. Mediocrity, there's no place for it. We aim for the sky. Aim for everything high. Aim for the clouds. If you miss the clouds, you may hit the sky. You know. And that's what I want to encourage you. Be the best version of yourself that you can be today. Be the best version of yourself that you can be today. Today, remember for the word, for the thought of the day is as we wrap, we become what we want to be by consistently being what we want to become each day. Each and every day, you accept the challenge that I'm not perfect. And maybe I didn't get it right yesterday, but just for today, I'm going to resolve within myself, JC, I'm going to be the best version of myself that I can be. And then tomorrow, I say it every day you sleep and work and wake, it allows for a change. What's the change? The issues within our society. Whom do we blame? Do we blame at all? Or is it a case where collectively we come together, accept the responsibilities of where we've all failed? Parents, children, teachers, lawyers, doctors, Sunday school teachers, preachers, whichever facet of life we find ourselves. Accept that we've all failed in one way or the other and work collectively to be the best version. Make that commitment, make that resolve as an individual, that I would be the best version of myself. And then, as a family, we would be the best version of ourselves. As a community, as a nation, we'll be the best version of ourselves as we can be as Grenadian. Peace and love. JC loves you until another day, place, and time. It's always a pleasure being with you. Be good to yourself. Reminding you to be good to the people you meet on the way up life's ladder. Because on the way down, I promise you, you are going to meet them. JC loves you. I am out of here.